I'm John Norman MacLeod. I'm Director of Studies at Sabhal Mor Ostaig, also the Vice Principal. And Sabhal Mor Ostaig is a college of higher and further education, and we're based in the south end of Skye in Slate. I was going to relate just tales, particularly the area in Skye, Tuckavig, which has a castle, a very famous castle. It was called Skye, and is on the road from Tarskavig, which is from the college. You can do a circular road right round Tarskavig, Tuckavig, Ord, and back again to the college. Now, this relates to a period of time, I suppose we would call it, when the Celts, and there were a lot of legends, stories related to the Celts. There was this young boy, he came from Ireland, he was called Setanta. He was given the name Cuchulainn when he was over in Ireland, and a tale related to that as well. But when he came over to Skye, he was sent to Slate to be trained by Skye, who was this warrior queen. The castle actually today is called Skye. Another interpretation is that the name could mean the shadowy fort, but I think is more likely to be named after the woman herself, Skye. Now, she was very famous at that time. I suppose Cuchulainn was a young boy, full of energy and full of everything. There's a tale, for example, that he jumped across. There was a drawbridge that would be pulled up at night, and he jumped over to the castle where Skye was. He was sent back very quickly. But there's various tales. There's also a legend about a stone, what they call Cuchulainn stone, that he used to throw this stone. And in fact, there used to be local games here, and they used to have what they called the Cuchulainn stone, which obviously wasn't the one that Cuchulainn threw. But maybe one of the best stories is relating to the time when he was here, and he had then, of course, had to go back to Ireland. Now, when he was here in Skye, he was romancing a girl called Aoife, but also he was engaged to marry a princess in Ireland called Emma. The story goes that Aoife became pregnant, and then she had this young boy, his son. And Cuchulainn, yes, you can imagine, this was rather maybe tricky situation for him. So he said to Aoife that when the boy grows old, or older, to send him over to Ireland. He was returning to Ireland to continue as a warrior there, having been trained by Skye, but to send him over to himself, but wasn't allowed to say who he was, or obviously who his father was. That he had given the mother a ring to put on the boy's finger, and that was the way he would identify the boy. So that's what happened. Cuchulainn went back, the boy grew up. Again, he was trained as a warrior here, and then he left by boat from here over to Ireland. And he got to the coast of Ireland, and people were on the shore watching this boy, and he was doing different tricks in the boat, and maybe with spears and so on, and bow and arrow, etc. And somebody shouted, "Who are you?" And he didn't respond. And they kept on asking, "What's your name?" He didn't say. So they thought he was rather arrogant, and they sent out somebody to fight against him. And of course, he defeated everybody who was sent out to fight against him. And then they sent for, I suppose, the most famous warriors at the time were the Knights of the Red Branch in Ireland, who were led by Cuchulainn. And eventually, having defeated all these warriors, Cuchulainn went to fight this boy. And the boy was getting the upper hand, and Cuchulainn asked for his Gapolloch, his magic spear, and he did pierce the boy's side. And it was so when he noticed the ring on the boy's finger, he realised then that he was fighting his own son, and actually the boy was dying. And it's a very sad tale, actually. And his dying wish was to see the rest of the Knights of the Red Branch and so on. But that's maybe one tale related to this castle, Skye.